Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. In this episode, we're going to be talking about No Man's Sky. But before we start traversing the galaxies and exploring space and shit, it's time for my favourite section, catching up with Jack and Liam. So Jack, tell me, what's new with you?
I went to a festival, Liam.
No way.
I did indeed.
And anyone who follows us on Twitter will know all about that.
Did a bit of live tweeting, didn't I?
You did, but for anyone that isn't following us on Twitter, I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't be, but tell me, what was this festival all about?
Well, I went to Reading Festival, Liam,
Okay.
which is a pretty famous festival.
So for those that maybe haven't heard of it, if you're based outside of the UK, for example.
It's a festival.
Yeah?
Lots of music.
Okay, it's a music festival.
Oh, got you. As opposed to all those other festivals, but I guess there are some.
Film festival?
They're not really festivals, though, Liam. I don't think film festival people come back and go, I went to a festival.
I think they do, like the ones that went to Sundance and stuff probably come back.
Do you reckon they come back and go, oh, I went to a festival?
Yep.
Really?
I think so. I mean,
Maybe they shouldn't.
it's called a film festival, so I don't know
Yeah,
why they wouldn't.
it just feels wrong to call it a festival.
Well, maybe...
But to be fair, I don't know what they do there, so I may be completely wrong.
So, you know, like a music festival where you go and listen to like a load of music?
Yeah.
Film festival, you go and watch a load of films.
That sounds really fucking boring, and I don't know why.
Well, that's because you're not that into film.
But would you like to, like, do they do it for a whole day? Like, so, not, I know it's more than, is it more than a day?
Yeah.
Do they, like, so at this festival, you know, the music starts at, like, 11 in the morning and goes on till 11 at night. I think 11:30.
Yeah.
Is it, like, similar at a film festival?
Yeah, I imagine so. Like, I've never been to one, let's make that clear. But take Sundance, for example. I'm fairly certain there's, like, several screens, and they'll be showing various films from the morning through to the night.
But at this festival, like, we got drunk and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's alcohol at film festivals and food. And I imagine with, like, Reading, if you want to stop listening to music for a little bit, you kind of can go away from where the music's happening, right?
Well, yeah, like, back to the camp.
Yeah. I'm sure it's the same with films where, oh, I want a little break from watching films. I'm going to go get some food, get a drink, maybe.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean?
I don't think I want to go to a film festival, Liam.
I don't think you'd like it.
I might.
Well, we'll probably never find out.
No, that's true.
There was actually a film festival on this weekend.
What one?
It was called Fright Fest. It's all about
films. Horror films.
In London.
Fair enough.
So, you know.
But, Liam, I can't imagine you went there, and I did go to Reading Festival, so I'm going to go back to talking about that.
Yeah, do it.
It was very good, Liam. I got very drunk a lot.
What was the highlight?
Red Hot Chilies were incredible.
Okay.
And saw a band called Slaves. Don't know if you've heard of them.
Of course not. I don't really follow music.
Fair enough. They're like they sound like a proper new punk band, like old school Sex Pistols kind of punk.
Like that song I recently played for you by Fiddler. That's quite punky.
Sure. What song was that, Liam?
40 Ounce on Repeat.
Oh yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, this is more punky.
Oh, okay.
Like you know the Sex Pistols, yeah?
Not personally, but I know of them. Yeah.
The band, the Sex Pistols. You know of them. You've heard of them.
Yes, they did punk stuff.
Yeah, they did. They
What was their top punk hit?
The Sex Pistols or Slaves?
The Sex Pistols.
I don't know, but I like God Save the Queen.
Yeah. Okay. What others did they do? Remind me.
I fucking can't remember the names of the songs.
Okay, because I'm just blanking entirely. Like, I have an
What's
image.
their main one?
Nevermind the something. That was Sex Pistols, wasn't it?
Nevermind the Bollocks, was it called?
Probably. I just am going off of the TV show Buzzcocks.
Yes, it's not actually called Nevermind the Buzzcocks, though, the song.
But that is a Sex Pistols thing, right?
Yeah.
There we go, then. Yeah, I know who the Sex Pistols are.
Yeah, good job, Liam.
Was it Johnny Rotten?
Yeah.
Anarchy in the UK, is that them?
Yeah.
There we go.
Have you just gone to Spotify and looked at their top hits?
No.
Okay, because I have, and Anarchy in the UK is number one, so I thought you might have done that.
No, because if you remember, whenever I open the internet when we're recording, you have a shit. So that was just straight from the top of my head.
Oh, well, we can talk about that in a bit, Liam.
Okay.
But yeah, so, saw them, saw some other good bands, had a great time, Liam.
But obviously the Chili Peppers were the highlight, right?
Yeah, they're like the reason
Yeah.
that we went this year.
They're the only reason why I'm jealous of the people that did go, because I would
Oh,
love
I mean,
to
like
see...
Fall Out Boy were there and stuff. Like seeing Fall Out Boy live was pretty cool. I didn't think I'd like them as much as I
Do
ended
you know
up
what?
liking
I've
them.
seen them live. They're one of the few bands I've seen live.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was ages ago. I was like 16. I was trying to impress some girl I met on the internet. So
Of course you were. That's very you.
we went to a Fall Out Boy gig in London back when I used to live around that area.
Did they have fire dancers when you went and saw them?
Nah.
Nope, so my one was better.
The kind of main memory from that night was the girl I went with. She kind of took her younger sister along, and her younger sister was a bit of a rebel and a bit of a like problem child, if you will, and just disappeared. And we had to spend like half the night looking for her, and she was like getting off her tits somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you should just let them go and do it and then meet up with them at the end of the night.
Yeah, I know, but like the older sister, the one that I was courting, was kind of very concerned. So it was I didn't really like Fall Out Boy that much anyway, to be honest.
Fair enough.
I mean, when you think this was like 10 years ago, so they didn't have quite as many top tunes as they might do nowadays.
Yeah, I guess. Sure.
Yeah. Chili's I'd like to see, though.
Yeah, they're really good. They're like, just watching them is incredible.
I imagine a lot of stage energy.
Yeah,
They like to jump up and down a lot.
they do. They do enjoy a good jump around.
Did you do any of the moshing, I think the kids call it?
No, I fucking hate it. You know what I'm like with crowds.
You don't like crowds?
No, I don't mind being in a crowd.
Yeah.
What I don't like is when you're like compacted in a crowd, or when people are being dicks in a crowd.
I mean, the issue is when you have a crowd of people, there's a high percentage chance of someone in that being a dick.
No, if you think about like a crowd at a train station or whatever, like I'm not talking about that kind of dickishness where someone might just sort of push through,
Yeah.
or whatever. But that is amplified at festivals to incredible degrees,
Okay.
and just generally at gigs, I think. But like, so for the Chili's, the people I was with, so my dad and his mate,
Yeah.
who were both older men in this crowd of sort of 18 to 30-year-olds.
Stop the press. Jack's dad, older than Jack.
Exactly, shock horror.
Yeah.
But so they were both like, yeah, we should be out the front for the Chili's, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm happy to, they're the band I'm here to see. I'm fine
But, like,
going forward. And...
surely everyone's got that idea, right?
Yeah, exactly, Liam. So what happened was the act that was on before them, I can't fucking remember who it was, but it was someone that we'd watched.
Slade?
Slade?
I don't know who was there.
No, Slade weren't there, Liam.
Okay.
No, it was someone else.
I took
Someone
a
probably
chance.
quite big. But so we were like, oh, we'll push forward into the front. I say push, like just go into the front bit.
Yeah,
And you've got all these other people that are doing the same thing, trying to get into the front.
of course.
But then the thing is, because a band has just finished, you've got all the kids and other people that don't want to see the Chili's. I don't know why they were there at all at the festival, but they were like, there were people trying to get out.
Yeah.
And so you had this weird, like, people were trying to push in whilst people were getting out. And instead of being like, oh, well, if I let these people out, there'll be space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I can get in. People were just shoving through. And we got up against this back barrier. So we weren't even, like, that far forward. We were in the front area, but we weren't, like, up against the stage or anything.
Yeah.
And there was, like, there was, like, a couple of kids in that bit where there was a dad who taking his kids to see him.
Yeah.
And it just got to this point where everyone was getting shoved. And I could just feel myself getting real stressed out with it.
Yeah, because you get
So I
quite
was like,
angry,
look,
don't you?
It's not even like anger. It's like a weird mixture of anger and like I get annoyed. But I didn't shout at people, but I had to go at a couple of groups that were pushing through because they were like just shoving people out of the way. And I was like, guys, seriously, if you just wait for these people to leave, you will have space. Chill out.
Did they listen to your reason?
They go, oh, sorry, mate, I'm getting shoved. And you're like, you aren't getting shoved. You're the shovers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like had a guy get really angry at me because I told him to stop pushing me, and he went, I'm being pushed from behind. And I was like, okay, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But then I just got out. I tapped my dad on the shoulder and was like, I'm not staying here for this.
So far, festivals sound awful.
No, because I'm sensible all the rest of the time and just go further back where it's a lot nicer and you don't get all that, which is what I then went and did and really enjoyed it.
Did you have I remember that on the podcast last time you talked about going to a musical thing. There was a lady who revealed her assets, shall we say. Was there any of that happening?
I don't think so. Not this time.
That's a shame.
Yeah, no, it's not, because, there are a lot of young people there, so I think it would be a lot more terrifying if it happened there.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that.
I think there are a lot more on it as well, like, ready to deal with any... Like, you see a couple... Like, I noticed it a lot, where the camera was focusing on, like, a girl on someone's shoulders, but the moment that person realises they're on screen,
Boom.
it seems like the cameraman just goes off to someone else. Because they're like, the moment someone realises, that's when they're going to bust the tits out.
Yeah. And I guess with their festival, the part that appeals to me least, you've also got to do some camping.
That's fine. Like, the camping at festivals isn't that bad.
What about, like, toileting?
Well, so usually, I've been like, I think this is my 3rd year that I've been to Reading. Maybe my 4th.
Okay.
No, 3rd. And usually my dad and his mate get this thing called the Seat of Luxury, which is a little, like, not a little tent, it's a fairly big tent, but it's got all the nice toilets in it that they, constantly clean.
Yeah.
They provide the bog roll instead of you having to either bring your own or going and asking.
Wait, is this like, how does this work? How do you get access to that?
So you pay money
To go, so
for the whole weekend. You pay, I think it was 30 quid.
Okay, and you get access to this, like, tent of wonder.
Yeah, the Seat of Luxury.
But is it just the one, or is there several?
Oh, no, there's a lot of, like, there's a men's toilets and a women's toilets, and there's a lot of cubicles in there.
Okay.
And then some urinals as well. Like,
And and if you don't get that, what's the alternative?
then you have to sit... Right, so basically you've got those ones,
Yep.
which have a little flush that empties it into a septic tank somewhere else.
Yeah.
If you don't get that,
Yeah.
we stayed in White Camp, which is the farthest away from the stage, so usually the least rammed.
Yeah.
And up there you get these... They're porta potties, but they have... And so you can see, all the shit is just under the seat. So you do a dump, and so when you're pissing in them, you can see everyone else's excrement, and which is bad.
Yeah.
But it's not as bad as the toilets that are even closer to the... so basically you get nearest the stage is orange, yellow and green, I think.
Okay.
And those ones have toilets which are not porta potties, but effectively, imagine a giant trough, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking a big trough.
Yeah.
Just full of shit and piss.
Yeah.
And above that, little tiny cubicles which have doors and walls, so you can't see everyone.
Yeah.
But there's no roof, it's just open to the elements.
Right.
And they all are just positioned above this big trough of shit.
That sounds awful.
They are worse. They are the worst toilets there.
Yeah. Okay.
So this year my dad's bought me a Seat of Luxury as a late birthday present.
That's nice then, I guess.
Which it turns out they are actually a lot better. And my stubbornness, I was still like, I would be... Because the last 2 years I've just been like, nope, I'll poo with everyone else, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But
you're like a man of the people.
Not that, I'm just stubborn.
Right. But it just sounds awful.
It's not like once you're in the actual arena, the toilets are proper toilets.
Are they?
Yeah, well, they're like the Seats of Luxury where they lead out to, then you're not just shitting on top of someone else's shit.
Okay.
They're like public toilets, effectively.
Right.
So it's a lot better in there.
But are they still like... You say they're like public toilets, but they're still like intense and shit.
No. They're in little...
buildings.
Like huts, yeah.
Ah, okay.
So it's once you're in these stages, it's not that bad. It's only when you're
Camping.
actually camping that it's not great.
Right, okay. Got you.
But then, we end up... This year we met... There's a couple of guys that we've seen every year we've been there.
Yeah.
Because they camp in the same area as us, so we've sort of met them 3 years running and sort of, say hi to them, and they usually come over and chill out with us because we have a big tent and a big space in front that we hog with the gazebo.
Yeah.
And then this year we met a couple of other people that I think were like 27 and 25.
Okay.
And then, so you get back from the gig at, like midnight, and then you're all sitting around a campfire, drinking and chatting, and it's genuinely alright, the camping, it's nice.
Do you ever get, like, is it called festival blues?
What's festival blues, Liam?
Where, like, after you've been to something like a festival, because you're kind of doing something that you love and you find fun for, like, 3-4 days, when you come home and back to, like, the routine and the monotony of life, you get really blue and sad and kind of wish you was back at the festival.
No, I think 3 days is enough for me. Like, there was a point where on the third day, the like headline for the third day was Biffy Clyro.
Yeah.
And before that was Fall Out Boy. You'd be up for seeing them.
like
Yeah, they're
Biffy.
really good. Yeah, and they did a really good show, but it got to the point where, you've been standing up for like however long each day for 3 days.
Yeah.
And there was just this moment where my dad's mate was like, oh, we could go and see the Wombats in between Fall Out Boy and Biffy, so like there's a little half-hour gap in between the acts.
Yeah.
And usually on another tent, on one of the other sort of stages, there'll be someone else playing, sort of overlapping a little bit. So he was like, oh, we could go see 30 minutes of them. And my dad was like, nope, my back and legs hurt, I just want to sit on the floor. And I was like, I sort of agree. And then even my dad's friend was like, yeah, to be fair, just sitting on this floor does seem like a good proposition. And all three of us were just sitting in this fucking, field. effectively.
And you got quite lucky with the weather as well, didn't you?
It was,
Quite
yeah,
sunny,
there was
quite warm.
It was sunny there was a couple of rainy bits on the last day,
Yeah.
but and that was good. Like, it's good because the rain is shit and being in mud is the worst at a festival.
Yeah.
But what it did mean was there was loads of dust because it was so dry. There was tons of dust. So literally for like Sunday and today, so Sunday, Monday, and today, I've been blowing like these black, dusty snot lumps out of my nose. It's fucking horrible.
That just sounds disgusting.
It got really badly, and at the end I was like, at one point I started like choking on just random shit in my mouth and was like, what the fuck is this?
That's not good.
It wasn't good.
You're putting me off of festivaling.
Well, you're going to have to go because we should do Liam tries going to a festival.
Oh, I would hate it. Where do you shower?
They have showers. You can I've never used them because
But
fuck
it's
it.
3 days, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's 3 days.
It's 3 days with people that aren't showering.
That also puts
Like,
me
no
off.
one at the festival is going to be... This is my logic. There was, like, you see these girls who are, like, putting on makeup and shit, which I get, like, fair enough, but there are girls that are, like, properly taking care of themselves. Like, you know, at the arena bit, this girl was brushing her hair, and I was like... I turned to my dad and his mate and was like, I don't understand it, because everyone is in this 3-day situation where we're all ending up looking like shit because we're sleeping in a fucking field.
Yeah.
And obviously there's dust everywhere and you're getting covered in dirt. So I was like, no one's going to look at you and be like, fucking hell, that lass is too filthy. Because they're going to be worse.
If anything, you're looking at her, judging her for trying to look nice.
I do, but I know
that's what I mean.
I'm an exception to the rule, I think.
Okay, yeah. And did you meet any nice ladies there?
Not particularly. Like, I mean, I'm sure there were nice ladies there.
But none that you met?
No, there's, again, the ratio of age groups is very off.
Okay, fair enough.
They're far too young, Liam, and it's noticeable that they're so young and you hate them.
So, do you think a festival like Reading attracts a younger crowd than, say, somewhere else? Like, I don't know,
Reading definitely, I think, gets a younger crowd.
Than what, Glastonbury?
Than Glasgow, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been to that one?
No, I want to go,
Okay.
but I've not had the chance yet. I had the chance in uni and then I fucked it up.
It's supposed to be very rainy, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's just England, isn't it? We are very rainy.
That's true. That's a good point, I guess.
Yeah.
So, if you had to sum up your festival experience in like one sentence or less, what would you say?
Really good.
Perfect. We'll do again?
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
Not necessarily Reading, but, you know, I would definitely do a festival again.
See, I feel like if we were to do like Liam tries festivals, we've got to get me doing the camping first, because otherwise it's Liam tries too many things and Liam has a bad time.
No, I think we just go all out. We do Liam tries all the things he definitely doesn't want to do.
That just doesn't sound fun. Well, while you've been doing that, I've been busy. I had a busy
What
old
have you
weekend.
been doing, Liam?
On the Saturday, I had to dog sit. So obviously, my mum has a very needy dog called Bailey. Issue with that, I'm super allergic to him, and I think my allergies to him are getting worse.
Worse?
Yeah. So it used to be, I pop a cup of Claritin, right, and we're good to go. He can get all up in my face because he likes to give me kisses and he likes to sit on me and stuff. He's a big dog, you know.
Yeah.
And it's normally fine if I take Claritin. This time, I took Claritin. I got there the Friday night. We had a lovely Chinese takeaway. Because here's something that bothers me, right?
Go on.
Fucking chicken chop suey, yeah?
Yeah.
Back where I used to live, back in like outside of London, and now where my mum lives, which is sort of near Basingstoke, the chicken chop suey is fucking delightful. It's like, it comes in this nice like red sort of sweet and soury sauce, right?
Okay.
It comes with like bean sprouts, got chicken. Oh, it's banging. Down the south, where I live, you order chicken chop suey, and it's like someone's cut up a load of chicken and then just blown their nose on it. It's in this like weird brownish green gunk, and it's got vegetables and stuff, and it doesn't taste half as good.
Right.
And I don't know why. I've actually asked. I've phoned up like Chinese takeaways, and I've asked them what colour is your chicken chop suey, which I know is a weird question.
Have you actually asked them that?
Yeah.
Dude, you're so fucking mental.
Well, I'm not going to order it if it's not the red one, am I?
You're seriously... you need to get checked, friend.
What's wrong with that?
That's insane.
How? No, what's insane is the fact that they don't have
No,
consistent chicken
Liam.
chop
What's
suey.
insane is the image of you ringing a Chinese takeaway and going, "Excuse me, I would like to order from you tonight, but only if you can answer this one simple question. What colour is your chicken chop suey? If you answer wrong, my custom will go elsewhere."
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes, and this isn't just like Chinese takeaways, but sometimes when I ring up to order food, I really struggle hearing the other line. Like normally because it's a bad connection or something.
Yeah.
I lucked out one time and I got through to a Chinese takeaway, crystal clear line. I could understand every word perfectly, right? So I actually had a bit of a discussion with them and I said to them, "What colour is your chicken chop suey?" And they came back, "Oh, it's this kind of like clear greenish colour." I was like, "Right, okay, I don't want that. But do you know why it's not red?" And we had a bit of a discussion about it, and they didn't know. And also, when I've gone back to where my mum lives, I had a little chat with them in their local Chinese, because isn't a place where they drop it off, you have to go and pick it up.
Yeah.
So when we went to pick it up, I actually had a chat with them, and I was like, "Look, when I try and order this down where I live, the chicken chop suey down there isn't the same as here, so like, what's different?" And it blew their mind that there was a difference. It's really just... It's not
Do you not
good.
see how this worries me, Liam?
No, because what...
You're like a
No.
fucking chicken chop suey expert.
The thing that should be worrying is why there isn't consistency.
I mean...
Right, imagine you order from Pizza Hut, right? Imagine you're in London, you order from Pizza Hut.
I can't. There's no Pizza Huts around me.
Just imagine it. Just
Well,
imagine
why not
it.
say Domino's?
Because there's no Domino's around me.
Can we meet in the middle? Have you got Papa John's near you?
No. We'll go with Domino's and we'll just roleplay it. So,
Okay.
imagine you're at Domino's. What would you order at Domino's?
Probably Hawaiian.
Right, Hawaiian, which is like ham and pineapple, yeah?
Yep.
Lovely. You order that, and you're happy with it, right?
Yep.
Then you come down to mine, and you order the ham and pineapple, whatever it's called, Hawaiian, right?
Yeah, literally just told you the name.
Yeah.
So shocking that you forgot that.
Yeah. You order that, and imagine if it's like ham and mango all of a sudden. Like, you'd be a little bit peeved, wouldn't you?
It sounds quite interesting. I'd quite like to try a ham and mango pizza.
But imagine if it doesn't taste half as good.
I mean, I'd probably ring him and say, "Oh, can I have a ham and pineapple one?" I don't know what you call that.
Yeah,
but...
and then when you ring them and you ask them about that, they act like it's the weirdest fucking thing you've ever said. Do you see, this is the issue I'm finding. Like, putting it in those terms, does it help you understand?
Yeah, I guess.
It's just, when you order something that you've ordered in the past, you kind of would just... You wouldn't expect it to be so different. Like, maybe like a couple of things different, but like not fundamentally. So anyway, that bothered me.
Yeah.
And then I woke up the next morning to look after the dog, and my allergies had kicked in. My tonsil, or tonsils, is it plural?
You call it your tonsils. I think they're called your tonsils.
Well, is that the dangly bit in your mouth?
Yeah.
Right, that had swollen to like twice its size, and like sometimes in the morning you swallow and you feel like you got a bit of like mucus or something.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it felt like when I swallowed, but it wouldn't go down. So I had to look in a mirror with a torch, and my tonsils were like twice their size.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then I spent all the day sneezing. So, and that's after taking Claritin. So my allergies to the dog got stupid.
Well, I mean, is that a one-off thing? Is this the first time that's happened with the dog?
No, like I always get sneezy with him if I don't take Claritin, but I've never had it where my tonsils are swollen up like that before.
Yeah, but see, what I'm wondering, Liam, is whether you actually had something then, like an illness.
Well,
Because
no,
if it's
because
the
it was
first time
just
it's
the one
happened
day.
with the dog... Yeah, true. It's
It's
weird that you took Claritin and it didn't...
still happened. I was still sneezing like crazy as well. Normally, if I take the Claritin, that will fix the sneezing problem. So, like, we drove back the Saturday night, and I was completely fine Sunday. So it was just very, very disturbing. And then, on the Sunday, I had a couple of buddies over to have a classic Liam barbecue.
Yep, which is where you fail, correct?
Yeah. And
Yep.
I failed again. So
Yeah, so what did you actually... Because I spoke to you, or you tweeted about this, and I had a...
It was just a fucking joke, man. So
What did you fuck up?
I had Mark and Jimmy coming over, right? You know that.
Yep.
Mark is a regular listener. He's probably listening now. Shout out
Hi,
to
Mark.
Mark. How's it going? They got stuck in traffic on the way over.
Okay.
And they're like, well, we won't, complain if the food is ready when we get there. So I thought, alright, I'll get the barbecue started. So I put coal in there.
Yep.
I got some proper firecrackers from the shops.
Firecrackers?
No, that's not what they're called, is it? Fire
Firelighters.
starters. Firelighters.
I was going to say, if you're using firecrackers, Liam, you're doing it wrong.
I got confused. Firelighters.
Yep.
And it said, put 4 of these in, evenly spaced. And
Yep.
they kind of come in like squares. It's really hard to break them off in the actual squares, but still. So I did that. It was a bit of trouble lighting it, but it took eventually. But the heat just never kind of stayed consistent. So like...
What do you mean?
It would start burning and then the fire would go out and it would smoke, but like there wasn't a lot going on. We ended up having to get through like half this box of firelighters, and still the barbecue wasn't getting hot enough to cook food on. So,
How?
Exactly. I don't know. Now,
Well,
the weather wasn't great. There was a couple of like showers, but they lasted like 30 seconds to a minute. So that shouldn't have really affected it.
Yeah.
I honestly, I do not know what went
How
on.
old was the coal you were using?
I'd brought it the day before.
And did you read the bags of coal to make sure they were, like, you were doing the right thing?
I mean, it was barbecue coal.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, that you light the bag.
Oh no, it wasn't like anything fancy like that. It was literally just a bag of... It was the same sort of bag of coal that we used last time.
Where did you put the firelighters?
On the coal.
On top of the coal.
Well,
Because you not sort of, are you not meant to put them under the coal?
So
Or
here's what I did. I put them on top of the coal, but then once they took to the flame, I used some tongs to move the coal on top of the firelighters. Because when I tried to light the firelighters when the coal was on top of them, the flame wouldn't take.
Oh, okay.
So I did a smart there. But it was shit. We had to end
I
up...
think you're just bad at barbecues.
I am. We had to cook in the oven in the end.
I mean, that's the worst barbecue.
Yeah.
Because it's not a barbecue at that point.
It was really bad. And then I cooked a load of strudel for everyone, and it was delicious. It was the highlight of the day, I think, food-wise. Like a nice woodland fruit strudel.
I hate you sometimes.
Why?
That's the worst. I don't know. That's just the. I think that might be the worst thing you've ever said, and I don't know why.
Wait, what's wrong with what I just said?
It's just upsetting me.
I don't know why, though.
Who the fuck cooks a strudel on, like... Oh, God.
With custard.
It's because you try and convince me that you're... Like, you say, oh, because you're of the people. You're a man of the people or whatever. And then I feel like you try and convince everyone you're this, like... You know, grew up in London... Or moved to Portsmouth, he's just a normal guy.
Yeah.
But then you have, like, these fancy country barbecues where you cook a strudel.
There's nothing wrong with cooking a strudel.
I mean, you are older than me, so maybe it's that. Maybe it's like an age thing. You start to get a bit obsessed with cooking a strudel.
I'm not obsessed with it. I went through a phase, probably last year, maybe the year before, where I definitely had a strudel phase. But, yeah, strudel is just delicious, man.
Don't try to throw a man in there to make it less posh.
Dude. You gotta get on the strudel train.
Dude had the sickest strudel, mate.
Exactly. It was banging with custard. Like, next time you're down...
I think the custard makes it worse. I don't think it makes it better.
Next time you're down, I'm cooking us a strudel. It's
My
super
issue's
easy.
not with strudel. Like, I like strudel. Strudel's fine. It's the issue is having a barbecue and then having strudel dessert with custard.
Well, what did we have for dessert when we had?
You
the
don't have
barbecue?
dessert. That's the trick. That's the real answer.
We got a load of desserts last time. Do you remember? We had
I
like
don't think
trifle was an
I don't
option.
think I got a lot of desserts, Liam. I don't think I was hosting a barbecue.
No, but I did, and I got trifle in. I got something else in, and I got other things in.
How many people actually ate any of the dessert last time?
I don't remember. Okay.
I don't think it was that many. I think it was you.
No, I think everyone had a little bit of something.
I didn't. I don't think I did.
I'm not convinced.
I honestly don't think I did. I don't eat dessert.
That's true. That's weird, isn't it?
That I don't eat dessert.
Yeah.
I'm just not a massive fan of it as part of a meal.
Well,
Like I like ice cream, but
so yeah, shit barbecue. But I did get to play a new game that I've had for a while, just never really played, called
okay.
Best Movie Never Made, or something along those lines.
Oh, I think you've told me about this.
Yeah, it's a bit similar to Cards Against Humanity,
Yeah.
where you get like a hand of cards, and there'll be 2 categories, and you get 4 cards from each category. So you have a star card, so who is going to be in your movie, and a category card, which is kind of like what the movie sort of genre is, kind of.
Yep.
So you pick 2. You pick a star and a category from your hand. You put it down in front of you, and then you have a third pile of cards with a question mark on, and that's the plot card. So you kind of draw that blindly and put that next to the two you've selected, and you flip it over. So you'll have like the star, so it might say me, for example, and then you flip the next one, it'll say in a movie about, in a, like, for example, one of the actual examples on the card, in a hardcore porno, and then you flip the last one over about dinosaurs, for example.
Okay, yeah, so that all just came to you off the top of your head, because that's definitely not something you're known for.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, and obviously each card will have a different thing on it, so otherwise it'd be a really boring game.
Okay, so wait, so which ones do you have in your hand? The star and the...
The category. So genre and who's in it.
So, yeah, so what's the game? What's each of you... Like, I don't understand. So would I put down... So do I put down the two cards?
Yeah.
And then I flip over the question mark?
Yeah.
And then everyone else has to...
So each round there'll be one judge, okay?
Yeah.
Again, like Cards Against Humanity. And what you have to do is you have to pitch your movie to that judge. So you'd all reveal your cards, okay?
Okay, so has everyone got different cards?
Yeah.
Got you.
Yes, everyone has different cards. They all flip over their cards, right?
Yep.
And then you take it in turns to pitch what your movie would be about. And also, we added a new rule in just for fun. You also had to give your movie a title.
Yeah.
And whichever movie the judge would most want to go and see, that would be the winner.
Okay, that makes sense.
So when you're playing with a lot of movie fans, it's quite fun. We had some giggles.
Who won?
I won one, and Jimmy won one.
Okay.
So it's real short as well. It's like first to 3 points.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I think it's like Cards Against Humanity, where once you've sort of burnt through the cards a couple of times, it loses its appeal.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was fine. It was fine. My favourite one was, so it starred a panda in a hardcore pornography about the rise, the democratic rise of teacup piglets, something along those lines.
Oh, okay.
So, the pitch that I made was we had a panda called Wansome who lives in China, and he wasn't having sex, you see, in the Chinese zoo. Anytime they brought out a female panda, and that would obviously start one of the hardcore scenes where she'd be like rubbing herself and stuff, he'd just be like, nah, not interested. And the reason why was his fetish was actually teacup piglets. The problem with teacup piglets, naturally, is that people don't take them seriously, and they kind of needed a spokesperson. So when Wansome left the zoo to kind of get that itch scratched, and he eventually finds the teacup piglets, who, like, the main one was called Fook.
Of course.
You know, Phuck. Then there's a lot of hardcore scenes between them, and the film title was Wansome Fook.
Terrible.
It won a point.
I can see why.
It won a point. So.
I mean, my only issue with what you just said, and it's not about your idea, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
It was the bit where you said a female panda comes in, starts rubbing herself, and that would be one of the hardcore scenes.
Well, it was a hardcore
because that makes me
porno,
worried,
right?
because I think you think that hardcore is something else.
No, but like
because hardcore isn't masturbation, Liam. That's softcore pornography.
Be. No, it can definitely be masturbation if they're proper, like, ripping it open and stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. You just made it disgusting and horrible in my head. So let's carry on.
I've got a dilemma, Jack, and I need your help.
Oh, good. I love when you have dilemmas.
Good.
Because they're always reasonable and totally normal. What's this one, Liam?
It's about Smallville.
Okay.
So, as you know...
Is the dilemma, should you just stop watching at this point, because it's taken you, like, however long to finish it?
I think we're coming up to a year.
Jesus Christ.
But it's a long show, to be fair.
I just wish you'd finish it.
No, so I really have been going at it hard lately, trying to get it done. So I've finished season 7, okay?
Yep.
Now, do you mind if I talk a little bit about the ending of season 7?
I don't give a shit, Liam. And at this point, it's been out for long enough that if listeners...
Alright, well...
I don't think anyone will care.
Let's just
just say it. No, say it.
Let's just say small spoiler
No one cares about Smallville!
If you care about Smallville, here's a small spoiler warning for the end of season 7, okay?
Okay.
So it ends with... obviously, there's been a whole lot of stuff going on throughout the season. There was, like, Bizarro Clark and all sorts of nonsense. Brainiac came back. Can you believe that? Although, Brainiac is played by James Masters, who people might know better as Spike from Buffy, which is just inspired bit of casting. Anyway, Brainiac comes back. It ends with there was basically some sort of device on Earth that Jor-El put there that could control Clark.
Why did Jor-El put it there?
Because he was worried that if Clark didn't fulfill his destiny, or some shit, there's a device that lets people control him.
Oh, of course, right.
Some shit like that. It was
some
weird.
Lame bullshit that Smallville came up with.
Yeah. And like Jor-El in Smallville is such a dickhead. Like, honestly, worst father ever.
Fair enough.
So, basically Lex finds the device, and they're in the Fortress of Solitude up in the Arctic. Clark comes whizzing in, and Lex, for the first time... Well, actually, no, it's like the third or fourth time in 7 seasons, but he normally loses his memory in the past anytime he's found out. But now, he's found out Clark's secret, right? And it's the season finale, and Lana Lang has finally fucked off at last, because she's the worst. And then the fortress collapses on him, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's it, end of the season. I'm like, hot damn, Lex knows. I'm freaking out, Lex knows. I need to watch the first episode of season 8.
I assume that he's lost his memory because he's been hit on the head by stuff in the Fortress of Solitude.
It's worse than that, Jack.
Okay.
I start season 8, and we have a little intro where it's like Aquaman and the Justice League are trying to find Clark or some shit, and they can't find him.
Yeah.
And like people are looking for Lex as well, and they can't find him, and they're where the fortress was, but there's no remains to be found by anyone. And then I don't know how much of Smallville you've seen, but like each episode starts with the cast, and it has their names, and they like sort of turn to the camera with like windswept hair.
I remember that.
Now, Michael Rosenbaum, I believe his name is, the guy that plays Lex, who is the absolute highlight of the show for me.
Yeah, he's great. I remember him being good.
Warning signs started going on because he wasn't in that little intro bit, and I was like, wait, no, you cannot do this to me. And then the episode goes on, and basically Clark ends up in Russia because of a fishing boat or some shit.
They haven't killed off Lex Luthor.
This is the thing, right? They haven't killed him, but they've just said we can't find any human remains. He's just disappeared. So I looked up on IMDb to see when he returns. Okay.
Are you going to tell me he never returns?
He does return.
Oh, okay.
But not until the very, very last episode. So here's the dilemma. I am fucking desperate to see him return and how they're going to do that.
No, you've got to watch it all and get there.
Yeah, but it's 60 episodes without my favourite character.
Yeah, but you're... No. You started yourself on this path, my friend.
Oh, like, I'm not saying do I skip ahead and just watch the last episode. What I'm saying is, how the fuck do I get through 60 episodes without my favourite character, like, leading the way?
Well, assumedly someone else will come and...
No, his replacement is a woman called Tris Mercer, and she's just shit.
I love how upset this has made you.
I'm literally, like, head in hands right now.
Jesus Christ. I don't know, buddy. I don't remember what bits of Smallville...
Just to make things worse, right, I can't fucking stand Green Arrow in Smallville. Like, the guy that plays him is a smarmy-looking git, right? And he was in the little opening name bit. So he's going to be in the whole fucking season, in like every episode, fucking dicking around, shooting his bow and arrow. He's like a dickhead.
I do think that their one was...
shit.
Yeah, not as good as the new one.
Like Aquaman, when Aquaman appeared, I lost my shit. I loved it. I thought Aquaman was brilliant. Even Cyborg, fine. We recently had... oh shit, I can't remember her name. It's some like woman, and she's named after a bird of some sort.
Oh yeah, Black Canary?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, she was fine. But Green Arrow is just... what a load of shit. So yeah, I've got...
what season are you on?
8, and there's 10 seasons.
Oh, okay, I've seen season 8. That's the one I've seen, or some of it.
Right.
Because I just looked up because I was trying to check if... because I know that there's a villain that I've seen, and I was just checking to see if you'd seen him yet, and you haven't.
Which villain's
I think you'll like season 8. Well, I say that, I didn't watch the rest of Smallville. I watched other little bits and pieces.
Yeah, which is the villain?
It's Doomsday.
Okay.
I remember him being better than Bizarro Superman.
I'm fairly sure we've already had Doomsday, but maybe not.
Well, I don't think so, because I'm on the wiki page about him, and it says season 8.
Okay.
Oh, unless he's like introduced earlier.
I honestly can't remember. I'm sure there was a finale that at least mentioned him or something.
Oh, maybe.
Like, I'm sure there was something to do with Doomsday at some point. Maybe an episode title. But anyway, so yeah, I don't really know what the dilemma is. I'm just pissed off about it. Because I'm so desperate to see how they bring Lex back, so I have to commit and finish the show now.
Yeah. Oh, come off it. You'd already committed, don't...
But it's like 60 episodes without Lex. Like, I expected the actor to get bored and leave at some point, but I was thinking, like, maybe for the last season, and that would explain why they stopped after that season. But
yeah.
we've got 3 seasons without him.
Is Lionel Luthor still in it?
No, he died in the last season too.
Oh, okay.
And he was also good.
Is that the one where you get a... Because my favourite thing that's ever happened in an episode of Smallville I've watched is there is a scene where Lex Luthor is in the rain.
Yep.
And he's crying, and he's like shouting at the sky, and a song by Interpol plays.
I think that might be a lot earlier.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. But that's like that's probably my favourite thing to ever happen in Smallville, but only because it helped me discover that song, and I was like, oh, it's a really good song.
I think I have 2 favourites of Smallville so far. The 100th episode, again, spoilers, Jonathan Kent dies. And it's done brilliantly. And then there's another episode, it's like a Christmas special, right? And it's like a take on It's a Wonderful Life, but they've done It's a Wonderful Lex, and it's all about Lex going into like a coma or some shit and seeing what the world would be like if he was good instead of evil, or something along those lines. It was so good. It was fantastic. Like, everyone was nice to him. Because the thing about this show, right, and the thing that bothers me the most about the relationship between Clark and Lex, which I feel like we never really hit the conclusion to in a satisfying way. Lex very much turns out the way he is because Clark never trusts him.
Yeah.
Because throughout the whole show, like especially the earlier seasons, Lex is really trying to make the effort to get on with Clark, but Clark never opens up and reveals the secret to him.
Yeah, because aren't they sort of friends in the early episodes?
Yeah, exactly. And because Clark is always hiding this part of him, that drives a wedge between them, and then Lex sort of starts looking into the whole alien stuff, obviously not knowing how involved Clark is with that, and that widens and Lex goes down the dark path. But he's definitely set on that path because Clark never trusts him. And I just kind of wanted that to be explored a bit more. Like, Clark is never really held accountable for it.
Do you reckon that's going to happen to us?
Who's going to go down the dark path?
Oh, you, obviously.
Why me?
What are you talking about?
I'm a lot more optimistic in, like, sunshine and rainbows than you are.
No, you aren't.
Sometimes I am.
We had this discussion the other day where you said, we were talking about how I was more optimistic than you about something. Nah. I've got more faith in humanity. You don't have enough faith in humanity to be the good guy.
That's true. I don't know. I hope not. I don't think you have any like big secrets that you're keeping from me.
Exactly. That's the whole point of secrets, Liam.
If you did, then it would probably bother me, and I'd have.
Would it piss you off if you found out I was a superhero?
What would your power be?
I don't know. Let's say, for the sake of argument, well, let's say Superman powers for the sake,
Yeah, because I'd be like, right, so you keep whinging about the fact that we can't record in person because I live far away, and you could just super speed here and record.
But even if I told you I had the powers, I couldn't do that, Liam, because it would be too obvious. People would be able to put it together. They'd go, somehow Jack and Liam record together, but Jack lives in London.
I don't think people would put that together.
I think they would.
It's
the internet, where even if something's not true, the internet finds like a billion bits of evidence to prove it is, and then get all leery about it.
Part of it would piss me off. It depends on your reasoning for not, because you got.
What
Pete
if I'm
Ross.
just trying to keep you safe, buddy?
Exactly. You've got like Pete Ross in Smallville, who actually came back last season for one episode, and it was fucking ridiculous. He's still annoying. Anyway, once he finds out Clark's secret, it just drives him crazy because he's like, right now, people like I've got to keep that for you, and people can get you through me. So that's kind of why he ends up leaving Smallville.
Yeah.
So if your reason for not telling me was that you didn't want me to have to deal with that, then that's quite noble.
Now, the issue is I would just tell you.
Yeah, I know.
Just because, yeah.
I know.
I wouldn't be very good at keeping it.
If you could have any, like, kind of useless superpower.
Useless?
Yeah, so, like, not something you could save the world with, but something that would just be kind of convenient for your, like, day-to-day life. And, like, it would probably affect you primarily. What kind of superpower would you want?
I've always liked the idea of having... there's a hero a villain in DC, and I can't remember what his name is, but he can make multiple copies of himself.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
I don't want that, because that's too useful.
Yeah.
That breaks the rules. I want the ability to make a single copy of me.
Yeah.
That could just, like, go and do my work for me. It's not like... It's no better than me. It's not, like, invulnerable.
Yeah.
It's just a copy of me. It goes and does my work for a day.
Yeah.
And then I meet up with it at the end of the day.
Yeah,
they sort of merge back together.
They have that exact villain in an early season of Smallville.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where a dude like makes a clone of himself and sends that clone off to school and stuff.
It's probably that villain that I was thinking of.
Yeah. I would like the ability to, when I touch food, it just cooks perfectly.
Oh, I think you've told me that you wanted that before.
Yeah, because I feel like that's not the sort of thing that you could really get rich off of. Like, I couldn't become a top chef like that, but it would just make my life easier.
Well, you couldn't you?
No, because like
you'd still have to prepare everything.
Yeah, and I wouldn't.
Right, got you.
I wouldn't. I would just want it to like.
You're too lazy to use the power
Yeah.
for anything helpful. Yeah, got you.
And also too selfish. I'd be like, nope. I've made myself a cracking dinner. Fuck everyone else.
Fair enough.
Also, no more failure barbecues.
But see, now that's the thing. So say you get a sausage.
Yeah.
And you touch it.
That happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Would it cook to perfection as if it were cooked in an oven, or would you be able to pick?
I feel like I'm gonna just to limit it. Otherwise, it would be overpowered. It would have to be like oven.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to do the perfect barbecue then.
It wouldn't be perfect, but what you would
everything would taste oven cooked, Liam.
Now, what you do is that you then just like waft the sausage over the smoke of the barbecue to give it that like smoky flavour.
That's definitely not how it works.
I don't know. Speaking of sausages, though.
Yep. Oh yes.
That leads me to my Liam's been to the cinema, and now it's time for his spoiler-free reviews of the stuff that he saw at the cinema.
Yep.
I saw Sausage Party. Look at that link. That was professional.
It was beautiful. You've got to stop calling attention to your segues.
Nah. They need to be appreciated, Jack. Sausage Party was shit. 1.5 out of 5. Would not recommend.
Yep, not going to go see it anyway.
Now, you've got like a beef about the animators and stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, I read all the shit about them, like ditching half the animators halfway through and not crediting a bunch of them and making them work. It was something like they made them work ridiculous hours and stuff, and if people said they wouldn't, that's when they kicked them out of it.
So I didn't know about any of that, and I didn't really care about it either, to be honest. It's just like, if that had happened, but the movie was still really good, like, I'd be like, you should probably go and see it. But the movie was just so bad that, like, it was just dumb. And like, from that kind of movie, you would expect, you know, a level of dumb comedy, but it's normally dumb in a funny way.
Is this just dumb?
Just dumb.
Oh, fair enough.
Like Pineapple Express is a pretty dumb movie, but it has
I love
moments of
Pineapple
funny.
Express.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder, dumb comedy, but funny. Anchorman, exactly the same. This, just fucking dumb.
Fair enough.
And like, there's a hint of a good idea towards the end, and they just bail on it, and it's just ridiculous. I also saw David Brent, Life on the Road.
Yep.
Are you a fan of the UK Office?
Yep, massive fan.
Curious about this movie, or how are you feeling about it?
I'm not getting my hopes up.
Have you seen any of the trailers?
Yes.
Right, and that's the problem. Most of the funny bits, or the funniest bits, are in the trailers. I can only think of maybe 3 funny bits that weren't spoiled in the trailers.
Oh, really?
Yep. And this just like, genuinely, it would have been a much better film if they'd have kept a lot of it as a surprise.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it kind of ended up feeling like, right, seen that bit. Okay, bit of plot. Cool. Set up the next joke. And you can even start guessing what the next joke to come is, because you'll be like, right, well, I haven't seen that one from the trailer. And there it is. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
So, 3 out of 5. I think I get, like, movie marketing. I get why they do it. They just need your money. They need to get you through the door. Once you've paid the money, they don't give a shit. So I get why they put in all of the best bits in trailers, but it's really ruining the film experience.
Yeah. There was something about this the other day, but I can't fucking remember what it was.
Oh.
It was like a really good article. So if you're out there, listeners, listening, just sort of Google the idea of trailers. I don't know the words you should type. But it was good.
Yeah.
If you find it, let me know.
Like, I don't know how to fix it, because I get why they do what they do.
Yeah, it was something about our attention spans and the way that like culture's adapted. Oh, it's because there's so much stuff out there now.
Yeah.
It was something to do with that idea.
Yeah.
So they have to put the good stuff in, because if you see a shitty trailer, unless it's like a big name thing,
Yeah.
where you can sort of, like Star Wars, they didn't have to chuck all the good shit in the trailer because it was Star Wars, and they were going to get huge audiences anyway.
And that is a trailer that I've said for a while now. That's like how to do it. That trailer.
Yeah, because that was Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to harp on about it too much, but it's like Batman vs Superman. If they hadn't have revealed Wonder Woman or Doomsday in that trailer, I think people would have had a lot more of a favourable response to the film.
You think that was the issue with the... Listeners, go back and listen to our
I don't
Batman
think...
vs Superman special, and I think you'll agree with Liam when you go, oh yeah, Jack's hour-and-a-half long rant would be solved if he hadn't seen Wonder Woman in the trailer.
I don't think that's the exact issue. I just think, like, can you imagine, right, if you didn't know Wonder Woman was coming, and then she appears in the film as you're there watching it in the cinema?
I will admit, at first I probably would have been like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then it would have just gone away very fucking quickly.
Yeah, no, and that's fine, but, you know...
No, as in, like, I'd have replaced it with why is Wonder Woman in this fucking film?
And, yeah. But just, if only they could have done it. They kind of robbed us of what could have been a very magical moment. So,
I mean, let's not talk about Batman vs Superman, because I'm getting annoyed already.
Culture swap?
Swap my culture.
What do we do this week?
This week, we have played No Man's Sky, the hit new game, hyped everywhere. Game of the Year 2016.
I have to be honest, I kind of missed out on a lot of the hype.
It was I think it was planned for, like, I don't know if it was day of release for the PS4, but it was very early. No Man's Sky has been floating around for a while now.
Yeah, so I was aware of it. The only thing I was aware before getting it was about how big it is and how it would take, like, a normal person if they spent, like, 1 second on every planet, like 1 billion years or something, to see every single planet.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Like, that's all I knew about it going in.
Yep.
Since playing it, I did a bit of research, and I read a lot of what was promised beforehand.
Yep.
So I don't know if you want to talk about that, how much of that you're aware of.
I'm aware of some bits, like, he was very... What's the guy's name, Liam?
Sean Murray?
Yeah. So he was very... In the build-up, people were saying, well, it's such a big universe, like, how will I meet up with... Is it multiplayer? Are my friends out there in this universe?
Yeah.
And he was like, yes. And then it turned out, after it was released, that no, they aren't. You're alone. That's the main one. No. You are alone.
No, well...
You can't meet another player character.
No, you can't. But you can... They can impact the game.
Well, you say impact the game. Like, you can go to a galaxy and go, oh, someone else has been here.
Yeah.
That's not impacting the game in any way.
No.
Except for punishing you, because then you can't upload stuff and get money.
Yeah.
So that's the main one that I knew. But then I've seen there was a list somewhere that had a lot of other stuff that he'd apparently said, like big space battles, but there aren't any big space battles and stuff like that.
So, for anyone who's listening who maybe doesn't know what the game's about, what would you say? How would you describe it to them?
Well, what it is a space sort of exploration game, really.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have a ship, you're flying around different not galaxies, like different solar systems, flying down to planets, and exploring them is the idea. I guess that's the core gameplay.
Yeah.
But you've got to, like, mine materials on the planet.
A lot of resource management.
Yeah. You've got, limited space, and you've got to pick what you're taking with you and selling and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's that, but it didn't feel like it was going to be that when it got in the build-up. Felt like it would be more.
What were you expecting?
So, like, I used to, when I was younger, and recently as well, like, I'm hugely into those sort of space games. Like, not big RTS ones, but ones where you're, flying your spaceship around the galaxy.
Exploring and stuff.
Yeah.
Meeting aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love all that stuff. Those are some of my favourite games. Like, the old Freelancer game is great, or Freelancer 2, I think is the one that I played the most of.
Okay. Like,
old games like that, you buying ships, I love upgrading the ships, going and fighting, going and doing all these missions. So I was really hoping for effectively a new game like that.
Yeah.
But with extra stuff, because this one you can land on the planets and go and explore. And I was like, that's awesome, a game where you've got the space combat and shit, but you've also got this planet side stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not what they made.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all. Like, for me, I was looking forward to a game that was very much focused on exploration and discovery.
Yeah.
And you do get that, but you need more than just that for a game. Like, you need to know why you're exploring these things and why it's important that you discover these things.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't think the game so the game kind of, it tries to be mysterious by not telling you anything. And I think what it ends up doing is, instead of being mysterious, it comes across as just looking lazy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that it isn't laziness.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the one. I think they were aiming for mysterious, but their laziness got in the way.
No, maybe I don't want to be too harsh because I don't think it. I don't think it's laziness. Maybe because they did like, to be fair to them, you know, it is this huge game. It's an ambitious project. It's like a team of. It's a small team.
It is.
Right. I think the real issue with this game isn't the stuff that. Well, it is the false promises and all that shit. They shouldn't have done that if they didn't think they could genuinely achieve it.
Yeah.
The issue is that they released a, you know, £50 game or £60 game for what is effectively an indie game that should have been sold on the PlayStation Store for at most 30 quid, and even 30 quid, I'd say at this point, I'd be like, that's a bit too much.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think maybe 25.
Yeah.
25 seems about right. It's definitely ambitious, and I have to kind of take my hat off. Like, it's never really been done before. A game of this scale.
Yeah, the scale is incredible.
But the issue is, it's almost too big. Like, it doesn't need to be as big as it is.
There's this weird obsession, or not an obsession, but there's this weird like idea in the game world of these procedurally generated things, like big procedural worlds.
Yeah.
Right? And the issue with them is, it's impressive when something's procedurally generated. Like, it's cool having these big worlds, like Minecraft's generating thing. That's really impressive that you can get this, you know, there's crazy stuff in there that you're like, wow, it's impressive that they did this.
Yeah.
And it works in Minecraft, because Minecraft is a sandbox that you're playing in, and you can build and whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then you've got something like, I don't know what the best example is, but for example, Skyrim, right? That map is handcrafted.
Yes.
It doesn't, everyone's looking at this same map. Same with like GTA, right? That city's a fucking incredible city, but it feels more alive because it's been handcrafted.
Yeah.
And I get that you can't handcraft a billion
cities,
stars and shit for No Man's Sky, but the old games did. Not that many, but they had galaxies they'd made, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It just feels empty.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think, like, I have to be honest, my first day of playing it, I was super impressed. I spent probably a good 6-7 hours on my starting planet.
Yeah.
Just exploring stuff, really enjoying it. I think the issue is, once you leave your home planet and you go and you discover the next planet, there's still a little bit, it's obviously going to be a little bit different, so it's still a little bit exciting. But then you go and do it again, and then you do it again and again, and very quickly it just becomes very routine.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, there's not really a whole lot of difference. Maybe the colours will be a little bit different. Maybe what they decide the weather will be is slightly different or something. But it doesn't kind of affect the way you play the game at all.
No.
So you're just constantly doing the same thing over and over again. And because it is procedurally generated, there's no way for you to have an actual impact on anything. So you do feel like you're kind of just watching this game go by, and you think maybe there's a story there, but you don't really know where it is.
Yeah, I mean, how far in it? You got further than me.
So
in the I'm putting this in air quotes.
Story.
The story.
Yeah. So for those that are listening, basically once you upgrade your ship, you can fly to different planets, and that opens up different paths. You have a free roam where you can just explore anywhere. There's a kind of plot point where you can go towards the centre of the galaxy, I think it is.
Which is meant... Well, they don't actually fucking tell you that it's your goal, do they?
No.
But it's by that map mode, you're sort of...
that
it's implying that that's the goal.
And then there's what looks to be like the plot, where you follow what's called the Atlas path.
Yeah.
And that to me looked like where the story was. And basically, all that is in kind of, every now and again you'll have a weird red space thing that you go to, and it will give you a bit of text, and if you've done so many milestones, which is sort of things you do in the game, like how long you walk around for and how many times you spacewalk and stuff, you can click a little button. It gives you one Atlas stone and then gives you a path to the next interface, it's called. So that's what I've been doing, been following that plot path. There's 10 kind of Atlas interfaces that you're directed to. Each one gives you a stone. Once you've got to the 10th one, you get one more path, leads you somewhere, and you get the option to hand over the 10 stones. And it says, gives you a bit of text about doing this will cause a new star and a new planet or something. And what it tries to do, the further it gets, is it kind of tries to be a bit smart, and it tries to be a bit meta. and talk about how you're becoming aware of the mechanics of this world and how it's kind of procedurally generated.
Yeah, I saw that I got to the second one, so I got to the second interface on that path.
Yeah.
And that one, you get a message that's like, oh, when I looked on the stone, I could see the creators who made all these races and control everything on the planets. And I was like, really? Are you just... Is this meant to be like Atlas is just the game creators?
Yeah, that's basically... They're trying to be meta with it, and it doesn't work. So the stones, they're worth a lot. You could sell them and get a load of like units, which you can then use to upgrade ships and stuff and buy certain materials.
Yeah.
Or you can hand it in to the Atlas interface and just get a bit of text. And that's it. That path closes down to you, and then you're off exploring towards the centre of the galaxy.
Is there more story
No.
after that, do we know?
Not that I've encountered. What I've heard is the closer to the centre you get, certain rules start breaking in the planets.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how true that is, but that's currently kind of my next goal with the game is to, explore that. Like, it's like with Overwatch. I'm going to play it to get the trophies, and, with No Man's Sky, the trophies I think are better than Overwatch, just in the way that you can actually progress in them. It's not so much luck-based. You can work towards certain trophies.
Yeah.
It's going to be very easy to get the platinum. It's not going to cause any trouble. It's just boring.
Yeah.
Really boring.
It's really annoying because early on when you're playing it,
it's so exciting.
I can't remember what was happening, but there was like the way Atlas was introduced in the game is like there's like a thing that's like, oh, promise yourself to promise you'll follow the Atlas path.
That's so when you start, you start next to like a crashed ship that you have to repair, and there's a red sort of orb, and that's where you start on the Atlas path.
Yeah, so that thing's like, oh, follow Atlas, right?
Yeah.
But then you do that because there's no other option at that point, or you can like ignore it, but it's basically you've got to do it. It felt like, but then there was like I can't remember where it was, but there was something that had two other names that were like in competition with Atlas.
Yeah, that just disappears.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck's that about? Because that was the point where I was like, oh, is Atlas going to be this big like? I was like, oh, maybe there's this story of Atlas being this supposed creator, and then there's actually these two other groups you can maybe join and stuff like that. Nope.
I also thought
fucking nothing.
There would be more between the three alien races. So each kind of planet will be home to an alien race, and you can learn words and stuff. And when I was first playing, that was the bit that was most gripping to me, was kind of exploring this language. And then when you talk to the aliens, they'll be like almost little puzzles. And
yeah, because you can start by what they say and what you know about the race.
Figuring stuff out.
You can solve more puzzles that they give you.
Exactly. So I was really enjoying that. But it gets to a point where kind of all of the rewards they give you, you've got. So, for example, you have what's called a multi-tool, and that's basically like your gun and also your way where you can mine resources.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain I've learned all the blueprints for it, and that's one of the rewards you get from solving these puzzles. The exosuit, which is kind of your inventory, if you will, and you can upgrade it so you can kind of jetpack further and faster and stuff. That I've fully upgraded, and I have all of the blueprints for that. So I'm at a stage with the game now where I'm like, I'm doing these things, but I'm getting nothing in return for it.
Yeah.
Like, there was even a point where I met a little alien dude. He's like, oh yeah, for 60,000 units, I'll give you a really cool upgrade. So that sounds banging. Already had it.
Yeah, that's weird. It still could give you the old blueprints and stuff. I don't get that.
Yeah.
Well, I do, because they don't have that many in the game, so they're like, oh shit.
That is the problem. It feels like, for a game so big, there's just so little to do in it.
Yeah. I mean, with that language stuff that you were saying.
Yeah.
Right. I had it today because I played a little bit before we came on here just to sort of refresh myself because of Reading.
Of course.
I hadn't played for a while.
Yeah.
But I went and did I went to a new planet and met one of the guys, because they have these trading outposts which other ships fly to, and there's always a guy standing there.
Yeah.
And I spoke to him, and it was a race that I hadn't met before, so I didn't have the language.
Oh, which race?
It was the third race, the insecty ones. Well, I say third race, they're the third race I've met.
Valkeen, I think it is, or something?
Yes, that's it, Valkeen.
Yeah.
And so it was one of them, so I haven't got any of the language for him.
Yeah.
So it was literally just random choice.
Yep.
And the whole, because you get your character's dialogue of what he's saying in his head effectively.
Yeah.
And then you get what they're saying on the bottom left of the screen, which is all just gibberish because I don't know what he's saying.
Yep.
But my guy was like, oh, he's, spitting on my face shield, and like clearly he's agitated. So my guy was doing the whole like, I'm signaling that I don't know the language, and that I'm peaceful. And then I had these 3 choices, which were give him 10 like carbon, 10 silicate something, and 10 something else. So I picked one at random because I was like, well, I've got no fucking idea.
Yeah.
And it was like the alien looks pleased and teaches you, or no, the alien looks slightly upset and teaches you the word for something. So in my head I was like, okay, so he's upset because I didn't understand, and my character said I don't know the words, so he taught me a word, right?
Yeah.
But the word he taught me was like ventilation, and I was like, now, if I was an alien and I met something that couldn't speak my language and it gave me the wrong shit, I'd teach it the word for the right shit.
Yeah.
I'd go carbon. I wanted carbon, not this shit. I wouldn't go ventilation. Get out of here, you scoundrel.
Yeah.
Also, why are they teaching me one word at a fucking time?
Well, yeah, that is flawed.
It just doesn't make any sense to me, Liam.
No. But, like, why also aren't the alien races warring or having some sort of
interaction? The like, lizard ones.
Yeah.
When you learn their history by reading their monuments and stuff,
yeah,
they're like dickheads.
Yeah.
They're like full on like, oh, everything should bow to our dominance and that. Yeah. But you go up to them and they're like, oh, can you help me? And you're like, well, you're meant to be superior.
Yeah, they're like little goblins when you talk to them, where they just care about like money and trading.
Yeah, it's literally boiled down from what I've read one monolith for these new guys, the Valkyne.
Yeah.
Right? So, as far as the 3 races are the robot guys. This is how I'm going to say them, listeners, because this is effectively what they are. Yep, the Korvax, they're robots. What they like is information. And they also like using you as a test subject. That'll make them happy. That's it. That's all you need to know to solve their puzzles.
Yeah.
If they give you a choice, either give them knowledge or be happy to be an experiment.
Yeah.
If you meet the lizard guys, just basically be subservient.
Yep. And
no matter what.
Trade with them if you can.
Yep, trade with them.
Cool stuff.
Or if they're like, oh, who's the best? You go, you.
Yeah.
Sorted. And then these new guys literally read one monument and they were like, for this guy's honour, we've got to do it. So I was like, cool, so they're the honourable ones. Is that about right, Liam?
They're basically warriors, so they're very much into shows of, like, showing your strength.
Yeah.
And if you can hurt yourself, they like that.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So, yeah, but they're
and that's it.
They're like a warrior race.
There's those 3 different things, and that's all you need to solve half their fucking puzzles.
And you would think, right, because those 3 things would have interesting interactions between each other, looking at those personalities.
Yeah,
but you never get to see that.
Because they're always in separate fucking galaxies.
Yeah, and the other the thing that surprised me most when I started playing the game was how big the planets are. I wasn't expecting the planets to be as massive as they are.
Yeah, because they are. Some of them are huge.
So I kind of feel like just give me more to do on a planet.
Yeah.
Like
instead of the same 5 types of buildings showing up.
Yeah,
they're not even different by races.
Yeah, have these aliens like on the planet warring over territory and stuff. Have kind of like seasons on the planet. You know, like with Earth. If you go up to the Arctic, it's cold, right?
Very good, Liam.
That doesn't happen on planets.
No.
And I just feel like if they'd have maybe scaled the game down a bit, so there was more variety on the planets, but less of them, it could have potentially been a better game.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing that really bothered me for a long time as well when I was playing it is I was following the Atlas path, so I was jumping from system to system, and it gives you, the quickest route to get to the next Atlas interface. But some other prick had clearly been doing the same thing. A guy called Zane23.
If you're listening, Zane23, I don't think Liam's a fan.
No, because, right, I wouldn't mind if he was naming his galaxies interesting things. Zane_3. Jump to the next one. Zane_4. I had this up until about Zane_23 when I think I finally overtook him. I'm sorry.
See, I just didn't rename them because...
No, I didn't. I was happy with the original names.
Yeah.
But, like, it's so disappointing when... Because the game's all about discovery and exploration and, like, you're supposed to be kind of forging your own path in this universe.
Yeah.
So when you're just following Zane_whatever fucking number he chooses, it takes away a lot of that exciting, oh, I'm an explorer feeling.
Yeah.
You just kind of feel like you're following Zane Dickhead.
Yeah, it's odd. I'm not sure. I haven't enjoyed it particularly. I did that first few times,
The more I play it, the less I like it.
It's one of those things where the more you play, the more you can see how it works, and that ruins it.
Yes.
It's like the animals is a big issue for me, like, and that was very early on that the procedural rules for the animals was like, oh, okay, I've got it, I figured it out. It's that simple. You literally go, it either walks on, it's either got the like lionish body, the T-Rex body.
There's a badger type body.
Yep, the little tiny badgery ones, and then there's like a little spidery one as well.
Yeah, there's also one that looks like a sort of bouncing pineapple thing.
Yeah, well, those ones are... I think those ones have their own rules, those weird bouncy ones.
Okay.
Because there's one that looked like plants to me, but was an animal, and I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then, like, it literally just... And then it just goes, random head, random legs.
Yeah.
And you go, oh.
Random colour. But
Well, most of mine have been, like, browny.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't even think there's a random colour, Liam.
Yeah.
They're just brown and shit.
Yeah, it really is. Like, the game... visually does have moments where it looks spectacular.
Oh yeah, there are some genuinely, and like people online have posted some really cool shots that I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. See, one of the things when I first played it that I really liked about it was how everyone's kind of story of how they started with the game would be different. So I remember like talking to friend of the show Dan Palmer about it, and we were kind of discussing how we both started and what our planet was like, and you know, how I was going off after the language stuff. I'm sure he was off doing something else. And I kind of thought that was quite neat, that everyone would have their own story to tell with this game. But the more you play it, the more you realise that it's not really much of a story at all.
And it's just going to end up being the same story.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I went here, and then I did that, and then I did that, and then I flew off.
Yep.
And that's it. That is the game. You go here, you do that, you fly off.
And you also don't get taught how to do barely any of it.
Nope, you just have to figure it out.
Yep.
And like, there's some stuff that would be really useful, like we were discussing earlier, having waypoints.
Yes, because you can find stuff on planets that's... Basically, you can get these crash ships on planets.
Yep.
Which they've got, from what I understand, from what I've read, they have a 50% chance to have one extra slot on them than your current ship, and 50% chance to have one less slot.
Yeah.
So basically, they're really useful, because if you can repair them, you can see how many slots they got when you find them. So you can go, oh, that one's got one more, I'll upgrade that, then I'll take that one and find a better one somewhere else, and keep doing that. People are saying, it's a really good path to getting a good ship. But if you find one, you've got a choice. You can either replace your ship right there, just go, this is my new ship, and then repair everything.
Which is a ball ache.
Yep. Or you can go, no, I won't do it yet. But if you don't do it yet, there's no way to leave like a custom waypoint and go, this is that ship that I really fucking want.
Yep, this is how I get back to it.
Yeah, you just fly off, because I did that, because I was like, I don't have enough materials, and I know that there's a planet in this solar system that had a lot of the stuff I needed, because I was on a fairly bare bones planet where like some of the stuff was very far apart.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I know that there's big deposits of all this shit I need on another planet, so I'll just fly there. Flew off, and then was like, oh, wait, I wonder how I get back to there. Like, turn around, no fucking marker or anything. I was like, well, that ship's gone forever.
The other issue is, at least it's better now, but when I started particularly, the game would crash a lot.
Yep, every time I went to a new system, mine crashed.
Yeah, which was just a piss take.
Yep.
So I think it's fair to say we weren't that impressed with the game.
No.
I heard
it's a really cool concept and a really cool fucking idea, but they failed to deliver.
Yeah, I heard it best described as it's a mile wide but has the depth of a puddle.
Yep. That is 100% it.
Yeah. And it's a shame, because I think there's a lot of potential here that... Like, I don't really know what they could have done, because I think the problem is, in having it so procedurally generated, you have to give up a lot of control over what you can actually influence, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the more you start trying to then put in, the more rules and sort of constricts you've got, so it's going to be harder for that procedural generation to work properly.
Yeah.
So I guess having games like this, which are so procedurally generated, just doesn't make for a very good game.
No, but it does for some. It's just, it depends on what you want. Like, when you're making your game, you've got to make that decision. And if you go procedurally generated, there's ways to make it work, like with Minecraft. Like,
well, the only other sort of procedural generational type thing I've ever done is in certain games where they'll have like dungeons that are procedurally generated. But even that, it has a very strict set of rules. Like, oh, there will be, treasure in here and these monsters, and, there's not going to be dead ends or like
No, but that's the same with this. This has those rules.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, with those games, the procedurally generated dungeons are just one part of it. Then you have the rest that's actually properly made.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You can get procedural generation to work.
Yeah, but I don't know if you could have a whole game where the
Minecraft
is that. I've never played Minecraft.
Right, well that is literally the entire game is procedurally generated.
I don't know how it works.
It works really well in Minecraft because it's a sandbox game that's designed for it.
But it doesn't work in No Man's Sky.
No, it does not work in No Man's Sky.
But again, there's not really a story to Minecraft, is there?
No, there's a very loose one.
Yeah.
But Minecraft, the whole point of Minecraft is like, because it's got that sort of No Man's Sky, like No Man's Sky, you can't alter the terrain unless you're firing grenades constantly.
Yeah, but you can't.
Whereas
build
Minecraft is literally you like using the world to build the things you want to build.
So so that's the big difference then, right? So with
Minecraft is a sandbox that you can play in.
Yeah,
it's Lego on your computer.
Yeah.
Whereas No Man's Sky is like one of those Lego toy sets that your dad has super glued together so you can't play with it.
Yeah.
Like from the Lego movie film.
Yeah, so with Minecraft you can have an impact. You can build something, it can be there, other people can come and look at it.
Yeah.
With No Man's Sky, you can't have an impact. You can go, no. I found this planet and I named it this thing. Other people can come and look at that name and then come and look around the planet, but they wouldn't know that I've been here doing anything.
No, there's no sign that you were ever there.
Yeah. So I think that's the issue. It needed to have some way for you to make more of a stamp on places.
Yeah.
Now, one of the rumours is there's going to be DLC, potentially paid for, and it is going to include base building. I don't think that's enough, personally.
No, what would be the point in base building in this game when you're flying into the centre of a galaxy?
Yeah, the whole point is to keep exploring. So what's the point of making a base anywhere?
No. I think I'm done with this game, no matter what they release, because I'm not paying for DLC for this, not at all. I paid fucking 60 quid for a game that isn't worth 60 quid. Mm-hmm. If anything, they should, like, if I was them, I'd be tempted. Not even tempted, like, out of decency, I think I'd try and release a bunch of free updates that would get it up to the point that I'd said the game would be.
Yeah.
Like, because I can't see anyone paying for DLC until they've delivered what they told people they were going to make.
And I can't see them delivering. It's never going to be multiplayer, I don't think.
No, I don't see how they could at this point.
No. We had a tweet come in about No Man's Sky.
Yep.
From Tom Hogan, who regular listeners don't know who he is.
He's a little artiste.
Exactly. Although, I haven't seen a lot of art lately.
Yeah, come on, Tom.
Yeah.
Get your head in the game, mate.
Oh, High School Musical. I like it. Cool
Shit.
back.
No, it wasn't.
Yep. So he said, from what I can tell, it seems like a good non-game that I won't need to think about much, so I'll wait for a Steam sale.
Which, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. It's the kind of game that, like, earlier when I was playing it, I put on Spotify and was listening to music that I wanted to listen to.
Yep.
And I was just effectively... It's one of those games that you can just sort of sit and not be focused on.
The problem I found lately is I've been doing that, but both today and yesterday, I've been playing it, and because it is so monotonous and mundane, it's actually made me sleepy. And I had to have a nap.
I mean, you're just fucking sleepy anyway, mate.
Yeah, I know, but this game doesn't... Like, games normally wake me up because like they're engaging my brain and keeping it active. This one sends me to sleep. So, what would you give it out of 5?
2.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. 2 out of 5. And I think that's being generous.
Yep.
So, would not recommend.
Not at all. I think Tom might have the right idea. It might be something to pick up if it ever comes down to, 10, 15 quid.
Yeah. What are we doing next time, Jack?
Next time, we will be doing the TV series. I say TV, but it's on Netflix. Sense8.
Who recommended that to us?
Regular listener, Joanna.
I don't know if she listens anymore.
Well, I'm going to say regular because it makes me feel better, the idea that we have a regular listener other than our friends.
I mean...
Not that you're not our friend, Joanna.
Good save. If she is listening, she could prove me wrong and send us a cheeky tweet.
She still tweets us.
Yeah, I know, but, like, specifically about what we've literally just said.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joanna, let us know what your thoughts are on Sense8 so that we can read them out next time.
Oh, no, don't say that. That's going to be really embarrassing now when she doesn't tweet us and clearly no longer listens to the show.
I'll just make something up.
Alright, cool, fine. So, yeah, we're doing Sense8 first 3 episodes?
Yeah, we'll do the first 3 because that's our rule.
Right, I've got a small bone I'd like to pick.
I genuinely thought you said a small boner.
Well, no.
Now, listeners, I have a tiny boner.
I need to go and sort that out.
Sorry,
it's like a
yeah,
pimple. Yeah. I think there's a kind of attitude with some members of this podcast
Go on.
where they're like, oh, Liam, you don't finish shows that you start. Right?
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that some of the shows we've started, I actually have finished, like Making a Murderer.
Yep.
So that's what I have to say to those listeners.
Is that it?
Yep. I can't remember what other shows we've done.
It's just, you don't know, but it's just you don't finish other things. You, like, you finish the stuff that you like,
Yeah.
which I get,
Yeah.
but you don't give anything else a chance, Liam.
I
is the
do.
issue.
I give it a 6 episode
You didn't
chance.
give it a chance.
6 episode
Everyone
chance.
told you Cowboy Bebop got better.
Everyone told me Attack on Titan got better.
Yeah, and you didn't give either of them. That was a bad example, Liam, because that's another one that you just abandoned.
Because I gave it 6 episodes.
That's not enough.
Alright, the other show that we did that I abandoned as well was fucking, what was it called? Dan's suggestion.
Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy.
I mean, we were never going to watch more of that, though, because that was a kid show. That was more to get our opinion on it, Liam.
Yeah. Well, have we done any other shows?
Maybe not.
Cool. So, Sense8, if I like it, I'll probably finish it. But I've got to do Smallville, ain't I?
I think you will like it, hopefully.
It seems more...
The thing is, I watched it so long ago, I can't remember what happens in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. You have seen this before and I haven't.
Yeah.
I think it is going to be more my sort of thing.
I think it is, yeah.
But, you know...
We will see.
We'll find out soon enough. Bye. Anything else to say?
I mean, if listeners want to get in contact with us, Liam...
Oh, shit, yeah.
Oh, I see how it is.
Little edit.
You're just buying so early, mate.
Yeah.
If you want to get in contact with us, listeners, you can tweet us at nerdonnerd, or you can email us at nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com.
And maybe, like, what they could do, just to give them some sort of inspiration, if you will, they could maybe let us know what they thought of Sense8.
Yep.
Because it's not new, so maybe they've seen it. Or maybe, right, because this is going out on a Monday, and we'll record the following Monday. So if you listen to this the day it goes out, fuck it, treat yourself. Listen to it on the Tuesday. That still gives you nearly a whole week. And all we're asking is your thoughts on the first 3 episodes.
To be honest, if you even just watch the first one and let us know what you think of that,
Yeah.
that's still something.
Anything. Fuck it. Even if you don't watch it, and you just haven't
Just let
heard
us know
of
what
it,
you think. Just
let us
go,
know.
that's a good name.
What do you think of the title Sense8, and what do you think it's going to be about?
Please, listeners, do that. If you,
I'm guessing, right, I know nothing about this show. I'm guessing it's kind of about how we have 5 senses, right, and someone's going to come along who has 8, and we're going to
8?
learn what those extra 3 senses are.
Fair enough.
So I'm really curious to find out. Because obviously, you've got the Sixth Sense, because there was that movie about it.
That's seeing dead people.
Yeah, so what's the 7th and 8th going to be?
Well, I think the 7th one's that one that sharks have.
What's that?
They can, like, detect electromagnetic frequencies underwater.
Okay, that could be useful, I guess.
I think that's
mean,
them.
I don't know how good of a show that'll make, but...
And then maybe 8 is like that one that snakes have got, where they can sort of smell heat, effectively.
Again, don't know how interesting of a show that'll make, but we'll find out.
What, a guy that can detect electromagnetic frequencies underwater and just smell heat?
It sounds a
And
bit
the other one, and
Smallville-ish.
see dead people!
It's getting to Smallville levels, isn't it?
That's true, yeah.
So, yeah, we'll find out. I might be wrong. That might not be what it's about. We'll find out.
I don't want to spoil it for you.
It's on Netflix. You've got no excuse.
Exactly.
I've been Liam Underwood.
I've been Jack Hempster.
You've been brilliant. Bye.
Me, thank you, bye.